So, I'm going to tell y'all what's happening around here. After the flood, the chickens refused to go in the coop. And they started roosting. I see Bilbo in there looking at me. Bilbo? Frodo? Frodo! There's too much racket out here at these ducks. Y'all can't hear him, but he's answering me. You just can't hardly hear him. Katie girl. It's been wet and nasty today. She hasn't really had a lot of outside in the yard time. And that food that's old and needs to be dumped out because it's wet. And I'm sure that's either empty or wet too. So she's getting a bottle, a little bit of yogurt. Yogurt and Propel. Which she's done it. That's it, Ladybug. I'll bring you some feed just a minute. And now I'm going to go give Molly some cake. Hey, baby girl. Where are all the goats? Oh, I see them. All right, you want some cake? You want some cake? I know. Give me a minute. I'm going to open it. Get your tongue in. Give me 1 minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. All right. Here you go. Here. Okay, be careful. Okay, what are you doing? Do you not like cake? Are you choking? That was kind of crazy. Molly, do you want this? Baby. Nobody wants this. Ducks might eat it. Nope, ducks are running from it too. Alright, well, so that day she ate them cupcakes. She was happy with them. She did not like marble cake. That wasn't going to happen. It's right there, most of it. It may have been too moist and was getting stuck to the top of her mouth. All right, so let me show you something. Well, I've got a water hose out here laid out. I was going to throw it away and I hadn't done it yet. So, I'm going to tell y'all what's happening around here. After the flood, the chickens refused to go in the coop. And they started roosting. I see Bilbo in there looking at me. Bilbo? Frodo? Frodo! There's too much racket out here at these ducks. Y'all can't hear him, but he's answering me. You just can't hardly hear him. Anyway, the chickens wouldn't go back in the coop. They started roosting on the fence, in the trees. They would not go in the coop. And I'll come out here in the morning. If you look, I don't know if y'all can see it, but that yellow, that's feed on the ground. I come out and I throw feed and they eat a little bit. And then I couldn't pin them. I kept trying to pin them. Now, she got caught last night in my shop. So I was able to carry her out here, clip one wing. She's this wing on this side right here. I clipped back. She cannot fly now, so she cannot get out of this chicken yard. But she's on her own. So this morning, I came out fairly early, and I was able to get about 6 chickens in here. But they would not go. I kept trying to shoo them. They would not go in that coop. And I even threw food in the coop. I'm thinking if I could get them in there, look, I hung my scissors right there so I could just lock them up and come out here, grab my scissors and go back and trim their feathers. And then they would be stuck in here. Like I was telling, I called Dad today on the phone. I said, look, well, hold on. So I've always ordered my chickens. I mean, very seldom have I've hatched chickens I have an incubator. Actually, I have two incubators. One of my, an old one and one that Dad gave me. And actually, I think I gave that one back to him because the last time I had used it, the humidity, I couldn't get the humidity up. Anyway, he said because the knob was broke. And so I couldn't make the humidity, I couldn't get the humidity right. I had the gauge in there and I couldn't make it right. And so he took it, he had to put a new little knob on it. But anyway, so I have one. But I like to order my chickens, and I order from, it's called Ideal Poultry, and they're in Cameron, Texas. And according to the feed store, now I don't know if that's where Tractor Supply gets theirs, but I know that the feed store that went out, not the one where Daddy and Ralph, but the one in Cleveland that I used for years before Tractor Supply was ever in existence in Cleveland or anywhere else, I guess. It was Thomas Brothers. And then later it became something else, that it was still a feed store. Still, it was just somebody bought it, but kept it a feed store. They ordered their chicks. So when you go to the feed store and buy chicks, they came from Ideal Poultry, same place. Anyway, you can order what they call a straight run, which you're gonna get a variety. You're not gonna know whether they're hens or they're roosters. Or you can order just pullets, which are little girls. And it's funny today because I noticed when I placed an order. I noticed today when I placed the order, they weren't calling them pullets anymore. Maybe people were getting confused about what a pullet was, so they were calling them females. So I'm assuming that people were getting, maybe they were ordering chicks and getting confused and ordering pullets, and I don't know what they thought they were getting, but they changed the wording to say now you're ordering females only. And used to it would say it would say Rhode Island Reds, okay? Then it would say straight run. It would say something from, it may have said male, but it always said pullets for the girls. It's always said pullets, and now it doesn't say that. So anyway, but it says female. So this is, okay, well, I think it was like God sending me a message, making Ideal Poultry send me a message, because the last time, I'm always trying to reach that limb over her. The last time that I counted chickens, like around the flood or after the flood, I counted, I believe, 26 to 28. It was real hard to get a count because, you know, chickens are moving constantly. I was trying to count them. I threw food out and I counted as they came in running. But, well, actually it was in the barn, but regardless, I was trying to count, and I don't really know if I got 26, 25, 26, 28, it was somewhere in there in that number. This morning, when I fed and threw feed out, now I caught her, like I said, last night in the chicken coop, in my shop. And I brought her out here, clipped her wing, and put her in there and shut the gate and shut the door and locked her in for the night. And this morning come out. And when I come out, I opened it, threw feed, she started eating, and several other chickens came. 6 were in there with her. 6. Her plus 5 more. There were 6 in here. 2 white ones and a couple of dark ones like her. Then I found my pretty rooster. Now see, I think I have 2 roosters unless one is gone. I had one that's really, really pretty and colorful. He's basically white, but he has a lot of colors in him. And then I have one I think is a buff Orpington. He's yellow, like a yellow color, like the color of these yellow ducks. So I'm pretty sure I have 2 roosters. The thing was, I counted 12 chickens total. And that's saying that I have 2 roosters. That would mean that I only have 10 hens. Now I knew that I was finding randomly a few feathers, but I was not finding any chicken bodies, except for one chicken body I found out there on the outside of the fence by the old goat house. And I thought it might have been Tony's roommate's dog. But Tony's roommate is gone. He moved back in with his girlfriend. and his dog is no longer here. And I found a dead chicken. No, lie, that's not true. I found feathers all in my front yard the other day at the corner of the side gate going in where Katie is, but from the front side. There's feathers right over here, right out here where Molly and them are standing right now. There's feathers. There was feathers over here in the backyard against that fence, against the old garden fencing. I found random, so I was thinking that I've had lost 3 or 4 chickens. Finding feathers doesn't always mean something was caught. It just means something tried to catch it. Usually when you find the body, oh, there's a dead chicken out there underneath that pine tree. I seen it the other day. It's white. It's a white chicken. I think I had 3 or 4 white hens, pure white. They were what they call Ideal Special. Ideal Poultry has something called an Ideal Special, and it's some kind of a mixed breed. And they're just white, real thin, slim, small. They're actually sort of small chickens. They don't get real big. And I thought I had 4, and now I only have 2, where I could only count 2 today. So what I counted, now that's not saying that there wasn't maybe one under Tony's house, or there wasn't one up there on the hill, you know, it doesn't made her way up, you know, where Bree feeds her horses, or her goats, or maybe one over there somewhere by Steph's house. I just know that when it seemed like the chickens came today for whatever reason. They came running. Some went in, some were in here, or some were over there and flew up and flew in and then ran in the gate. But what I ended up counting was only 12. And that's either 10 hens and 2 roosters, or 11 hens and 1 rooster, because I'm not really for sure. I have a couple of buff chickens. Here comes Daddy down the driveway. I have a couple of buff chickens, besides hens. And so I seen this buff going around that corner, and I really from here couldn't tell if it was a rooster or a hen. So, and it was wet. It's raining. It's been raining all day today, so they were wet, so you really can't tell what they are. Anyway, so I was very upset knowing that something had slowly, possibly picked out at least 12 chickens. That's 12. When I was thinking 3 or 4, and I can only count 12, and I had 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, somewhere between 24 and 28 chickens at one point right after the flood, and now I don't have but 12. That's a big deal. Now, Steph had a couple of chickens killed the other day. I don't know if she's done a video on it yet or even talked about it, but she said it was a coon, or I'm assuming she thinks it's a coon. I haven't seen a coon around here, but I'm pretty sure I've seen coon tracks on the feed barrel over there one morning. I was like, those look like coon tracks. I told Dad, I said, you know what? I've got besides the chicken feed out here, I've got all this feed for the goats and Molly in the barn. And some of it was in the barrel with the lid on it, but some of it wasn't. There was just in the bag leaned up against one of the posts. I just thought if there was something eaten on my chickens, that if I supplied them with food, they would leave the chickens alone. That's not the case. So, when I went in today, after I was out here with all of them and counting and seeing what was going on, I'm evidently gonna have to chase her into that coop. Well, maybe it's still daylight. Maybe when it gets dark, she'll go in. She's still walking this fence line like she's gonna find a way out. I went in and sat down, and I was sort of like a little disappointed that I could only count 12 chickens. And I've got one lady that for sure wants eggs, and she wants as many 18 packs as I can give her. She always wants as many as I can give her. Last week I'd only give her 2 because I'm not getting as many eggs, and I was thinking, well, the heat. But now I'm thinking, well, I can't give her much because at the most I, could get is 10 eggs a day but they're not laying 10. If they're laying, I don't know where they're laying. I get 2 eggs in this coop every day. And I was getting 5 or 6 eggs in the barn in that little trailer. There's some hay there left over from, as hay falls out when you throw hay in there. And it's the trailer that I would set the bales of hay in, so they'd be off the ground. And some of it, the loose hay, and they've made a bed there. And I was getting about 5 or 6 eggs a day there. And then all of a sudden, this heifer right here started laying daily in the shop. I knew one was laying in the shop. I went out there to get something, and there was an egg there. There was also, where the egg was shells of an egg. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got a chicken laying eggs out here, and something broke that one and ate it. Either she did it, like broke it when she jumped up there and ate it, or something has found it, like a coon or a possum. So I started making sure that every evening I gather from in there too. So anyway, long story short, I went in and sat down, very sort of picked up my phone, and really wasn't thinking when I picked up my phone, I wasn't thinking about the chickens anymore. I was just going to check my phone, and there was an email from Ideal Poultry, and they had a special on their chicks, on just a few of the breeds. But they were breeds that the Silver Lace Wyandotte, the Buff Orpington, the Rhode Island Red, the Black Alstrop, however they say it. I ordered 4 each of 5 breeds. So there's 20 chickens coming. But the thing is, that's why I called Daddy, because they were running this special because their last day to order for this year is September the 9th. Oh, that's the last hatch day. So basically what happens is that if they hatch and they get them all boxed up on the 9th, on the 11th, what did I say? September 11th, 9/11 is their last hatch day. Then on the 10th, I should get a call from the post office saying I have chicks up there and I can go up there and get them. There were no other dates to choose from. So I thought, well, maybe this is Jesus saying, look, they're on sale, because chicks have gone up. Gone up. Even, at Tractor Supply, they're $4 a piece. When you order them from Ideal, the price is up to I think it's like $3.24 per chick. And if that's in small quantities. If you order between like 1 and 12, they're 3 something. If you order, I think the more you order, the little bit less per chick it is. Anyway, I ordered 4 of each, 5 anyway. And you have to do a minimum order of $40. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, which ones you order. You just, you can't order 3 chickens from them. You have to have a minimum order of $40. So I called Dad and told him, I said, look, I just put an order in for chicks, and I told him what was going on. I said, I could only count 12 chicks today. And he said, well, he knows it was coons down there just picking off he said, but at the same time, he thinks something was getting them during the day too. Well, see, just the other day, I seen one, I don't know if it was one hawk or if it was several, but when they went over you in the sun, so you could see their shadow on the ground, they looked like airplanes. Their wingspan was so big. So I don't know, maybe I had hawks picking them off too, because I kept thinking sometimes the places I was finding feathers felt like that would have been somewhere they would have been during the day, not during the evening, like at night. So I don't know. Anyway, praise God, I've ordered some, and I hate that I'm having to replace what I had, and I hate that something's slowly been picking them off. But you cannot, if their wings have not been clipped, you can't catch them. At 56 years old, I can't chase chickens around. I'm not Rocky anymore. I can't chase a chicken and catch it. I can try to throw some feed into one place and hope that I can maneuver it in. I even thought today when they were in there, if I had a long piece of wire that I could have like hooked to one side of the fence and drug it across, then I may have could have walked it up and it would have scared them until eventually they would have all been, at least the 6 that came in here, I could have got them shooed into the coop. But I don't have a piece of wire that's perfectly sized to go across this coop to be able to coax chickens a certain way or another. So yeah, she's slowly heading over to the coop. Anyway, I feel sorry for her because she's going into bed at night every night by herself. Well, this will only be night 2. But anyway, yeah, so God did bless me with showing me that ad or that link that they got getting that email, because if I hadn't have seen that for a few days, I mean the 11th is just next week, and I would have missed it and wouldn't be able to get any more chickens until the spring. Order more, and then it's 6 months. It's between 6 and 9 months when they start, depending on what breed, when they start laying. So if I get them in September, if I get chicks in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, sometime between April and May, I'll start getting eggs from those new chicks. But you know, so it is what it is. I mean, I hate that I'm losing them, but something's been picking them off. And I knew something was up because they stopped. When they were roosting on the fence. It was over there, right there on that fence right there. The wall to Molly's old old stall. That's where they were roosting. And then some were in these trees. And lately, the last few nights I've come out, this is about the time I feed up every evening, and praise God it's not raining right now. I also had a few roosting in this crepe myrtle right here. All of a sudden, there's no chickens on this rail, and there's no chickens in this crepe myrtle. But I'm gonna show you something, hold on. I know that you're probably gonna think that's the sky behind the leaves, but right there, that white spot and that white spot, that's 2 white chickens. In the front yard was the one, okay, I come out of the camper the other night when it wasn't the night that maybe it was the night that I put the fan. Okay. Is that a chicken or dead limb? I think it's a dead limb. Okay, so I only have two white ones up here. I come out of the camper. Katie, I see you. I see you. So I come out of the camper, and in that tree that hangs down low right around the camper, I don't know what kind of tree it is, but the limbs hang almost like a weeping willow, but it's not a weeping willow tree, but they hang like that, low hanging. There was the rooster that I said is white with really pretty mingled colors. Him and 3 hens were in those low limbs. And I told Dad on the phone today, I said, well, they've done moved from roosting on the fences and stuff in the backyard to now roosting in the front yard. And he said, yeah, they're moving from wherever they've been being picked off at. They're moving. All right, so right over here, it's a little earlier than I was out here last night, but she's up there, but I don't see another one. I know y'all can't. Let me find her again with my own eyes so then I can find her. Oh, okay, she's out there toward. I can know that limb keeps getting, but the wind is blowing a little bit. There's a chicken right there. I know that y'all can't see her, but she is dark. And she is sort of behind some other leaves, but she's right there So that's one. But there's no more out here in this tree. She's by herself. There's nothing in this tree. There's nothing in this one. I hear you, and I'm fixing to feed y'all. I'm fixing to put out feed before it gets any darker. Anyway, I've been walking and looking in these trees. I did it last night and I couldn't see. But right before I went to bed, I went out to look and see if those 3 hens and that rooster were in that on that tree again, and they weren't there. So, but they were here today, alive and well. So, see, they've already moved from the front yard now to somewhere else in the front yard. I don't know where they're moving around. So I'm gonna look and see if I see anything in this tree. Whenever you see some dark spots up in these limbs, if you look good, sometimes you may see a chicken. And see, like Dad said, I said, my 7 guineas, he goes, I still see them all the time, the 7 that run together. He said, and I said, but yeah, well, they come here and eat. Now, tonight they're not here. But normally when I'm out here feeding in the evenings, they come out and eat, like with the ducks and stuff. But they haven't been staying here anymore. And Dad said, yeah, that's when you know that you've got something that's bothering everything to the point that things are leaving. So chickens aren't leaving. Chickens are just finding new places to hide. But the guineas left. So I hate it. I hate it so much. Anyway, I'm going to get in here and feed these guys and get Katie some feed. I'm going to have to put her bowl. We're supposed to have rain through the night and even a little bit in early morning hours, so I'll have to dump her bowl and then put her feed inside her little house with her. But these guys, I can feed them real quick before we get another batch of rain. Anyway, I thought it would be cute, Molly having cake. Molly didn't like cake. She didn't like that cake. All right, I'll see you guys later. Love y'all. God bless you. Molly, want to say goodbye? Ducks, give me a minute. Molly, want to say goodbye? Want to say goodbye? I know, sweet girl. Katie, I'm trying to do a video.